Friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will learn the next topic of inventory management, which is vendor consignment process. Here, we have to learn what is consignment stock, how to manage the consignment stock, how to create the consignment purchase order, make goods receipt for the consignment PO, and do the invoice or settlement for the consignment purchase order, how to display the vendor consignment stock, what are the transaction codes we can use to display the vendor consignment stock, how to make transfer postings for vendor consignment stock, how to make goods issues from consignment stock, and how to do the invoice verification for the vendor consignment. So first we will start with what is consignment stock. Consignment stock is stock of a material supplied by a vendor and stored in our premises but actually belong to the vendor. We are liable to pay to vendor only when we withdraw the material from the consignment stock. Until the material is not withdrawn from the consignment stock for use, the material will belong to the vendor and we are not liable to pay anything for it. We are liable to pay only when we withdraw the material. Next things, how to manage the consignment stock. To manage the materials in the consignment stock, we should have the following master data. First thing is the material master record of the consignment material, vendor master record of the vendor of the consignment material if you are using ECC 6.0, or business partner record of the supplier in if you are using S4 Hana, and purchasing info record of the info record type consignment for the consignment vendor and consignment material. And one more thing here, before we can order consignment material from a vendor, we have to maintain the price of the material for the particular vendor in the consignment info record. Why? This price is very much important for valuation of the material, consignment material, and settlement of the material withdrawals. Next thing, consignment purchase order. How to create a consignment PO? When we are creating a consignment purchase order, we have to use item category K, input material number, quantity, but no need to input price, as the price will be picked from the consignment info record. For example, I will show you this one. I will take you to the SAP ECC6 screen here. Let us how to create the purchase order. The T code to create purchase order is ME21N. Okay. When you are creating a consignment purchase order, after you input the vendor, purchasing organization, purchasing group, company code, here in the item category, we have to select item category as K. This is very important actually. K. So when you create a consignment PO, we have to input the item category as K. This is very important. Next thing, how to make the goods receipt. To make the goods receipt for the consignment material, we will post the goods receipt using the normal, that MIGO transaction code. How, by how we are posting the goods receipt for any other purchase order. But when we make the goods receipt for a consignment PO, it is not valuated. It is non-valuated. Why? Because, it will still belong to the vendor until we withdraw for our use. Now, we can post the received material. Okay, when we make the goods receipt for the consignment purchase order, we can post that consignment material to either unrestricted use stock or quality stock or block stock. Next, invoice for the consignment PO. We cannot enter an invoice for the consignment purchase order like, we are posting invoice for a normal purchase order using the Miro transaction code. But here, we have to make settlement only using the MRKO transaction code. Okay, so that is here, when we go to the SAP ECC6 screen, I will show you. Let me go to the SAP screen here. See, we can see here, right? In this path, right? Logistics, material management, inventory management, environment, consignment from vendor, MRKO. Okay, by using this MRKO transaction code, we can make the settlement or, pay for the consignment material we have used to the vendor. Next, how to display the vendor consignment stock? We can display the vendor consignment stock by using MMBET code or also MB54 transaction code. So this MB54 transaction code here, I think already I showed you here. This is already here. You can use, this one here by using MB54 transaction code here. Okay. So next, transfer postings. For consignment stocks, we can also do transfer postings and stock transfers, how we do for other stocks, normal stocks. For these goods movements, in addition to the movement type, we must also input the special stock indicator K and the vendor of the consignment material. And these goods movements are non-valuated, because when we are doing transfer postings for consignment stock, okay, it still belong to the vendor, hence it will not be valuated. Okay, and here what kind of stock transfers and transfer postings we can do for consignment stock? We can do stock to stock transfer posting, storage location to storage location transfer posting, and plant to plant stock transfers. Okay, and very important point is it is same as a normal stock transfer, but the only difference is when we are doing stock transfer for consignment material, we had to add special stock category K, which is consignment stock. For example, I will show you here. Let us go to here, SAP here screen here. Okay, let us go to the Migo transaction code here. Migo. Okay, let me take you to the Migo here. See, for example, here, right? Let us say we have to do some transfer posting. Okay, to transfer consignment stock. Okay, from one storage location to another storage location. First thing, what we will do, we will input the material plant from storage location and to storage location. Okay, let us say to storage location here. I will input here and enter here. Okay, sorry, it is 1000. Okay, after inputting all this, right, here we in the special stock here field here we had to select consignment vendor. Okay, we should select always, whenever we are doing any transfer postings or stock transfer for vendor consignment material, we should always, put here special stock category as K. We should not forget to put special stock category K here. Okay, that is very, very important here. Actually, and also we have to input the vendor also, because, whenever, right, we input any consignment material here, one more tab page here, open here, and there, we can input the vendor here actually. Okay, along with this, what you call that, special stock indicator here. Okay, okay, both we have to input actually. Okay, next thing, goods issue from consignment stock. Goods issue from consignment stock. Okay, actually, okay. So we can only post a goods issue from unrestricted use consignment stock for consumption. Okay, if the consignment material is in stock in quality inspection or in block stock, you must first post the consignment material to unrestricted use stock. Then only we can withdraw the material from consignment stock for use. Okay, we can also make withdrawals for samples and scrapping from all three stock types of vendor consignment stock. See, the only important point we should remember is if you want to withdraw the vendor consignment material for our own use, we can withdraw only from unrestricted use stock, but we cannot withdraw from quality stock or block stock. But if you want to withdraw the consignment material for samples or scrapping, we can withdraw from either unrestricted use stock or quality stock or block stock. When entering the goods issues, we must specify the special stock indicator K and the consignment vendor in addition to the movement type. For example, here, this is very, very important. Whenever we are doing, any goods issues, okay, for vendor consignment material, right, we should always, put the special stock indicator K. And also, we can also transfer consignment stock to one stock. To do this, post a transfer posting with movement F411 and special stock indicator K. Unlike the goods issue for consumption, this transfer posting causes an increase in the value weightage. Okay, so when we are transferring the vendor consignment stock to our own stock by using movement F411, we should put the special stock indicator K, and as soon as we transfer the vendor consignment stock to our own stock, the valuated stock, okay, of that particular material will increase here. Okay, for example, let me show you here in this Migo transaction code. For example, here. Okay, so let us show here. Okay, for example, right here, the first thing I will show you here is when you are making any goods issue, for example, other, for example, right, what you have to do, first thing is, after you input the material number, okay, then you input the quantity, and in the where tab, right, immediately after the this one, okay, that movement type, okay, you have to input the special stock indicator. Okay, you should not forget to here, input the special stock indicator next to the movement type here. And also, when you are transferring this consignment stock to our own stock after the movement F411 here, okay, so here that is, when you are doing the transfer posting, for example, here, right, I will show you here. For example, here, go to Migo. Here, when you are doing, transfer posting, okay, let us say other here. What is the movement type here? You can F4 the movement type here. 411, right? 310. 411 here. Transfer posting, okay. Let us say here. Okay, apart from the movement type, right? Immediately next to the, for example, this, let us say this is some consignment material. Okay. So you input the material, okay, plant, storage location, and here, we have to input the special stock indicator as K here, consignment. Okay, that is very important actually. Okay, that means, whenever, right, you do either any transfer posting or goods issue for a consignment material, we should always, the special stock indicator K here. Okay, where here, after the movement type, either there or here after the movement type, here, immediately after the movement type, you should put the special stock indicator K. You should not forget to do this one. Okay, for both goods issues from the consignment stock and transfer postings to our own stock, there is a liability towards the consignment vendor. Okay, so either we make goods issue, either we issue the material from vendor consignment stock for our use, or we do transfer postings, okay, to our own stock, means we transfer the vendor consignment stock to our own stock. In either case, right, we are liable to pay the amount of the quantity whatever, we have either goods issued or transfer to our own stock to the consignment vendor, and the withdrawal is valuated with the price from the consignment info record. Okay, already we have seen in the earlier, right, that, whenever we create a consignment info record, we have to maintain the price of the consignment material along with the vendor in the consignment info record. Next, invoice verification for vendor consignment. So once, we withdraw the materials from the vendor consignment for our use or transfer to our own stock, we are liable to pay the money of that particular quantity which we have issued for our use, or, transfer to our own stock, that much, for that much quantity, we have to pay the money of that particular quantity to the vendor. And to settlement, to make this settlement for the quantity withdrawn, we have to do it using the transaction code MRKO. So I will take you to the SAP screen here. See here. Let us go back here. How to make the how to, do the settlement for the consignment here, consignment material, by using this MRKO transaction code here. Okay. So when we do these exercises, right, we will understand very clearly, okay, how to do all these things. Okay. So this is all about the vendor consignment process. And also we will do some exercises here, like, how to create a vendor consignment info record. Okay. How to create a vendor consignment PO, how to post goods receipt for a consignment PO and display the vendor consignment stock, how to do, that is transfer posting, transfer the vendor consignment stock to our own stock, then how to create a reservation for a consignment stock for a cost center and post goods issue for the reservation, and how to settle our liabilities. Okay, for the consignment stock with the consignment vendor. And that is, we will also get some invoice number. Okay, as soon as we, post the vendor consignment liability using the MRQOT code, the system will, give some document number, which is we call it as a invoice number. Okay, so how to do it. All these things, we will learn. But I have decided to, make separate videos for all these exercises, because if I do all these exercises in the same video, the video will become very long. So soon, I am going to, create, separate videos for all these exercises and upload in YouTube. So till then, see you, and let us, soon, meet in my next video. Till then, see you, and thank you for watching my video.